One of the things that I get really passionate about and I get really sick of as well is people staying stuck for no good reason whatsoever. And I put myself in that category as well because I know there's times when I hold myself back. I should be doing more. I've got the potential to do more, but I keep myself stuck. And one of the biggest reasons for that is because all that information out there and all that talk about working on yourself first. It's become a very profitable lie, and it is important and it absolutely matters. But a lot of people tend to use that as an excuse never to do anything about it. It's that constant read more, read like a CEO, learn more, but never actually putting into action the things that they're learning or never doing anything that's actually going to move them forward. Hence, they're stuck. It's almost like it's used as an excuse to stay stuck. If I just learn this next thing, everything will be fine. If I just keep working on myself, the whole world around me will shift. Everyone says you need to work on yourself first. Get your mindset right. Heal your trauma. Love yourself. Then you can take action. I've even said it before as well, and I help my clients with some of that stuff. But it's just backwards. The inner work is essential. But if you're not taking action, you're not doing the inner work. You're just researching it. Awareness is just step one. It's the beginning. It's not the destination. If you've been working on yourself for years, but there's no significant changes happening in your life, like no life changes, you're not working on yourself. You're just avoiding the work. Inner work, without the action to back it up, is just expensive overthinking. People spend years in this loop. They will read all the books about confidence, but never actually have a scary or even confrontational conversation. They'll take all the courses on starting a business, but never actually launching the business. They will understand their patterns. They'll do work to understand what's going inside them, but never actually stop to interrupt them when the time matters. Getting awareness after awareness, but still staying in the same place and staying stuck. Telling themselves that, maybe I'm not ready yet. Maybe I need to do more inner work. Maybe I just need to learn something else. But here's the brutal truth. If you're 5 years older with the same problem, you're just more self-aware about the problem. And who really benefits from this? There's a whole industry out there in personal development and self-help who will sell you course after course, book after book, attend another workshop, go to another seminar or a retreat without ever requiring any risk for anything. And it's a perfect business model because the client really never has to face any of the actual fears. They feel productive because they're working on themselves, right? I'm doing the work, I'm working on myself, this is productive. And they keep buying more courses because that next course, that next retreat is that next missing step. It's the next level to aspire to. And I've seen this happen quite a lot with coaches, consultants, people who wanted to start a business when they spend even years just waiting or preparing, getting their website done, getting their business cards done when business cards were more relevant, creating social media and creating all their content and putting all this stuff out there, but then never actually having one sales call, never doing cold calls, never doing their emails or email marketing because they were doing all this inner work, but never putting anything into practice, hiding behind all the productivity things and the things which they think will help them with their business, but never actually having one scary conversation, never putting themselves in a position where they're going to be rejected with their offer. Spending all this time researching, creating the ideal client avatar, putting together comprehensive lists about who they could potentially reach out to or who could be a client, but never actually picking up the phone. If you were to work with me, I could quite easily sit down and do all this inner work and never have you action anything. But every client I work with, yes, there's some inner work done, but there's always tasks at the end of every single session because we need to create forward momentum. We need to put what happens in the session, the breakthrough, what we go through, into action by doing one small step or a handful of other steps to help move forward. So it's not just about the inner work. And if I really wanted to, I could create a course about doing the deep inner work and put it up there and make money from it. But that's very different to how I operate because, like I said, I'm starting to see how backwards that thinking is. On a personal note, I used to think that a lot. When I first got into personal development, it was a lot of inner work, right? It all started with trying to make more money in sales, which ended up being, oh, well, I need to be better. And that was good. And I spent a lot of time working on myself. But I also realized that a lot of the time, not much was changing because I wasn't taking the action. There was a part of me where it realized I needed to love myself more and appreciate myself more, and which is great. But what ended up happening was when I actually started to do the work, I did love myself more. I did appreciate myself more because I was proving to myself that I'm capable and I was getting some results as part of it. I started to love myself because I was doing it. I wasn't just thinking about it. And so many of my clients, when I speak to them, are in that exact same trap. And none of them became unstuck from just the inner work. There were some significant breakthroughs, as there always are. Sometimes there was tears, there was realizations and insights. But what really brought it home was what they did afterwards, during the week, between the sessions, doing the reach out. One sales call that they've never taken just proved everything that they were working on and put them into a place where they were building this forward momentum. And this tends to fire me up because the inner work matters. Like, don't get me wrong, the inner work matters. Self-awareness is so important, but it's the start. It's not the finish line. And I just see out there so much that people use the most important work, that understanding themselves, as the most expensive excuse to just never change their lives. The real big challenge is that it's harder. It's very easy to sit down and work on yourself and think about yourself and all that stuff and keep doing that, but it's actually significantly harder to do it the other way and put the action principle into place. Because you have to feel the fear and do it anyway. You have to risk looking potentially stupid or embarrassed or even face the possibility of failure. And most importantly, you actually have to test if you're ready or not. Spoiler, you're not, but you do it anyway. And it's easier to sit in another workshop or watch another course, getting more awareness about why you're not ready. So here's how it tends to break down. In the first week, you get new awareness, which happens as a result of coaching or the work that you're doing. And then in that same week, the action happens immediately. You're scared, you're imperfect, it's uncomfortable, but it happens. And then the following week, new awareness comes in from doing the thing, from doing the work. More action comes from that same week, and then the following week, even more action comes based on the real feedback and not the theoretical understanding. You've learned more in the last couple of weeks doing the action than you would from a whole year of just sitting at home doing the inner work. So let's just pause for a second, because I'm not saying skip the inner work. I'm saying that if the inner work isn't producing an external change, then it's not inner work. It's just inner thinking. Real work creates action, and then action creates real inner work. They feed each other. If you're stuck in one without the other, you're not doing the work. You're researching it. With that in mind, and in speaking of action, I have a challenge for you for this week. Whatever you're not ready for right now, the thing that you've been doing all the inner work about, that you've been preparing for, it's time to do. Do one small version of it in the next 48 hours. Not when you're ready, not when you're feeling confident, not when you've done more healing. In 48 hours. Scared, imperfect, ready or not. This is probably going to be uncomfortable because you'll want to just do a little bit more preparation. Just a little bit more researching. You'll want to understand yourself better. You'll want to heal just that one more thing. That voice, that's the comfortable lie. And that's what's holding you stuck. You're going to discover that you're more capable than you think you are. You're going to realize how much time you've wasted preparing to prepare. The real inner work starts when you act before you're ready. And I get that some people won't agree with this, that some people might say that, well, what about trauma? There's people out there who genuinely need therapy first. You might even think I'm being irresponsible, where some people just generally, they're not ready right now. They need to heal first before they do. And they might even be right about some of that. I mean, if you've got a clinical trauma, you've been through some stuff, and you need professional therapy, absolutely, go do it. But if you've been in therapy for years, or even coaching for years, you've been doing the inner work for years, and your therapist or your coach isn't pushing you towards action, then we need to talk. Because at some point that I'm not ready becomes I'll never be ready. But of course, tell me what you think. Leave a comment below. Let me know. How long have you been preparing but not actually doing? I would love to hear it. If you like this video and you like my work in general, please like the video, subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications. My goal is to grow and reach more people, and your help would always be appreciated with that. And if you realize or you think that, you know what, maybe you've been doing a lot of inner work without actually being able to take the action and you've been holding yourself back, there's a link below in the description where you can book a conversation with me. No sales pitch, no tactics or anything like that. Just a genuine conversation just to see where you're at and get some service. Thank you so much for watching the video. I really appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one.